Kim Jong-un, well, he needs the summit to happen more than the U.S. Here with reaction, author of the upcoming book, The Briefing, former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer is with us, and former White House Press Secretary, Fox News contributor Ari Fleischer. It's a sad position for Democrats to be in. All these 14 record states on low unemployment, all these different demographics on low unemployment records. You know, the president, North Korea is a great thing. For them to be happy, he has to fail.
Well, that's all true. But, Sean, I have a surprising conclusion about how bad it is with the press. It's actually good for Republicans because the press is so separating itself from the American people, particularly in the battleground states, that the Democrats read their good, favorable press clips, they read the vehement anti-vitriolic Trump clips, and they believe them. And the more they believe the good press they're getting, the more they separate themselves from the voters. The press has separated themselves from the American people. So you have a slice left that believes the press.
You might be the last press secretary that ever had a chance at that job. I mean, I watched our friend Sean Spicer, who did it. Sean, I don't know how you did that job. They can't pay anybody enough for that job. And Sarah Huckabee is amazing. She has the patience of Job. I could not do the job you two have done.
The wounds are finally starting to heal. but I would agree with. Can I just say something on North Korea, though? Yeah. Look, the funny part is all those clips forget what the president said at the beginning, which is, if we get a deal, great. I might walk out. He laid the predicate for this a long time ago, and everybody's forgetting how he approached this to begin with. That's the important thing. The president has made very clear that he's willing to meet with him, but he's willing to walk away from the table. That's what all of these people in their reports have forgotten, and you're absolutely right. He's gotten Kim Jong-un to give 3 American hostages back. He's gotten them to start talking about denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. Unemployment's at a record low. So many millions of Americans are benefiting, and they are doing whatever they can to figure out what negative news to cover, because at the end of the day, what's so fascinating is most Americans are saying, you know what, this president is keeping his promises, he's getting things done, and America's a better country before it. So I know that for a lot of folks in the press corps, they're trying to figure out, well, where else can I find? What can I go after them on? But at the end of the day, Ari's right. They continue to show how wildly out of touch they are with the American people, because the president is getting results both domestically and foreign policy-wise. He's keeping the country safe. He's developing jobs. He's creating a robust economy.
Bring it back to North Korea for a second, Sean. Bring it back to North Korea for a second. If Trump decides he's not going to go, the press is going to blame Donald Trump. If Kim Jong-un decides he's not going to go, the press is going to blame Donald Trump. They will not blame the communist totalitarian dictator. They'll blame Donald Trump. And this is
what about the 3 hostages? But at the end of the day, crossing the DMZ? What about no rockets fired over Japan?
Well, they covered the hostages, but it was a one-day story. But this is, again, Sean, my point about how the press is separating itself from the people that they rely on, depend on to buy their papers and news. Jill Abramson, the former executive editor of the New York Times, said that every time Trump calls them fake news, she hears the ka-ching of the cash register as more people subscribe online. That's the curse of the New York Times, because the people who are subscribing online are so oppositional to Donald Trump, the New York Times has to deliver the opposition. It's becoming the voice of the opposition. Newspapers, the media cannot be oppositional. They have to be factual, and that's what's gotten lost.
How do you explain how horrible CNN... By the way, I want residuals from CNN and MSNBC because they run me all the time. It's so unfair. They need to pay me. Zucker needs to pay me. But in all seriousness, they're not doing well with this. When do they? If I was watching a president give a speech and they were chanting, "Fox News sucks," I might take it seriously after a while.
You know, the funny thing on my end is during the campaign season, I was very public. I gave a lot of credit to CNN in terms of how they covered the campaign, how they ran their debates. And then suddenly on January 11th, when Jim Acosta decided to become a carnival barker, they decided to change their entire model and realized that their model was now to try to follow MSNBC and become the other resistance. And I think it's sad because they've made it personal, and their ratings are suffering because of it. And I think that they've gotten now every one of these hosts goes on air and tries to outdo themselves as if Chris Matthews has become the model for them.
And the problem is the press's job is not to be the resistance, but they enjoy that role. And they relish it. And they always do it to Republicans, and they particularly do it to Trump. And it's going to get worse even when Trump's gone.
Thank you both.